I am Senior Chang, and I'm so ill. This is a warning, I can't be killed. All in your cabeza without a chaser. Not another teacher with this much flavor. Get your hands up for Espanol. The Spanish evil genius, they're probably the meanest. Say hello to part 2, a classic caliente. It's 102, and I know how much you miss me. I'm Chang, and I cannot die. I'm Chang, and I cannot die. I'm Chang, and I cannot die. No, I cannot die. No, I can't.
Hey there, Nation, and welcome to the show where we help you to play miniatures wargaming on a budget. It is I, Commander Cheapskate, and we are back with another episode of Tales from the Tackle Zone. This is a series of Blood Bowl battle reports, and this is Season 2 of our campaign, and this is battle report number 14. That is fought between my two friends, Fresh Prince Bel-Air, as well as Senior Chang. My friend Senior Chang is playing the Gwaka'moli Crater Gators, his Lizardmen team, and my friend Fresh Prince Bel-Air will be playing the Elfheim Eagles of the Elves. So as you can see, we have a full-packed stadium with the High Elves in showing to play the game, to watch the game. We even have Lord Teclis as well as Lord Tyrion in attendance for the High Elves. Meanwhile, for the Lizardmen, we also have our different converted orcs and goblins who convert over to the ways of the old ones, watching their team play as well. So this is I believe this is the 7th game within the New World Conference. So for those of you guys tuning in, we have two conferences in this league. We have the Old World Conference and the New World Conference. There are 6 teams per conference. The conferences will play amongst themselves until eventually they have a champion, and then the champions of both the conferences will play out for the Blood Bowl. As you can see, my friend Fresh Prince Bel-Air has a fan factor of 6 because his team right now is 2-0 with 2 victories and 0 losses. And unfortunately, Senior Chang is the opposite end of the spectrum with 2 fan factor because he's got 0 wins and 2 losses. So these teams will be the best ranked team in the highest ranked team in the New World Conference playing the lowest ranked team in the New World Conference. So we'll see exactly how this one pans out. So it'll be kind of interesting to see what happens. So for this one, my friend Senior Chang won the coin toss. He elected to kick off in the first half of the game, so that way he can receive in the second half of the game. So we're going to play some background music real quick. As the music is playing, we will show you photos as well as rosters for both teams. If you want to see exactly what we're bringing for this one, go and pause and take a look at your own leisure. So with that being said, let's get this battle report on a roll. Alright, so now we're back at the first half of the kickoff. So with the ball bouncing eventually over here, right over here next to this thrower, in the back rank over here is where the ball is eventually landed at. For the kickoff result, my friends rolled cheering fans. So what ended up happening for that one is they had to roll their d6 plus their cheerleaders on either side. They didn't actually have any for their side. So what ended up happening is whoever ended up winning would have gotten a prayer to Nuffle bonus for that turn. But unfortunately, they both rolled 2. Both of them rolled 2s. And so because they were tied, so because nobody got the prayers to Nuffle, so because of that, we begin turn number 1 for the Elfheim Eagles. So with that being said, we'll come back after the turn 1 activations. Alright, so we go directly to the top of turn number 1 for my friend Fresh Prince Bel-Air. And as you can see, some things have actually kind of developed for the most part. The line of scrimmage, they managed to push back as well as POW 2 of the Source Warriors out there, so that way they can kind of create, it looks like enemies are approach to kind of go through the midfield. It looks like they're trying to do so that way they can get to the end zone for the Lizardmen. Unfortunately, what ended up happening is that player number 10, which is this Elven player over here, that player's name is Morinem Swifthand, tries to throw a block directly into Beef Supreme, which is the team captain of the Source Warriors. Got both players down as a result. Unfortunately, his armor got cracked and he got knocked out, so he will not be participating until the drive ends. And at the same time, the Source Warrior just got knocked down for the most part, so he's perfectly fine. Which, of course, causes an immediate turnover, so we go directly to the bottom of turn number 1 for my friend Senior Chang and his Lizardmen. Alright, so that takes the record to the bottom of turn number 1 for the Lizardmen of the Gwaka'moli Crater Gators, and Senior Chang has done a lot in this turn. First of all, he stood up a couple of his players. At the same time, moved a lot of his guys along the line of scrimmage again to blocking positions against each of the elves. However, the most impressive thing took place over here, with player number 3. Player number 3, his name is Crunchwrap, throws a blitz action directly to player number 10, Morinim Swifthand. Not only does he manage to knock him with a power result, as well as break his armor, he also makes him a casualty. So because of that, Blitzer now is completely out of commission, and he will miss his next game as well because he is seriously injured. What this did, and what this also did, is also open up a hole for them to actually exploit through to move through. So what ends up happening is that my friend Senior Training sent 2 of his skinks through the line up here, heading directly towards the ball and towards his elven catcher. At the same time, he also sent in his little Doritos Locos, his little chameleon skink. He actually passed all of his agility tests, weaving through the line of scrimmage and also making his way directly to the catchers as well. Looks like my buddy Senior Training believes the best defense is a great offense. So with that being said, we go directly to the top of turn number 2 for the Elves. All right, so we go to the top of turn number 2 for Fresh Prince Bel-Air and his Elfheim Eagles, and disaster strikes. First of all, his thrower, player number 2, and Decel Tenderheart, actually moves up, magic hit the ball, no problem, and actually moves his maximum allowance directly towards his catcher number 4. That player's name is Cassirium Gladshore. Now, this is like a gimme pass. You just got to throw out one extra square. So he tries to do so. Unfortunately for him, though, he fails his catch. He rolls a 1 for the first one, so of course he has the catch skills, so Cassirian can roll again. Rolls another one. So because of my buddy Dark Lord Mac does burn up one of his rerolls to try to do it again, and he rolls a third one. So because of that, the ball scatters to the 5 o'clock position and drops right over here next to this square. I forgot to mention as well, this blitzer over here also blitzed directly into this skink, also knocked him over with a power result as well, so that way they can just kind of skirt the sideline and make it directly to the end of the drive. But unfortunately for my friend Fresh Prince Bel-Air, though, the dice gods conspired against him. So now we go directly to immediate turnover for the bottom of turn number 2 for my friend Senior Chang, as well as his Gwaka'moli Crater Gators. So we go directly to the bottom of turn number 2 for the Lizardmen and my buddy Senior Chang, and touchdown number 1 for the Gwaka'moli Crater Gators. So let's talk about exactly what happened. So all kinds of devastation took place. So let's talk about it real quick. So this player number 5, his name is Belgrande, throws a block directly into this blitzer and managed to get a power result and knock him over as well. And then from there, up here on the top of the line of scrimmage as well, these Saurus Warriors actually throw blocks. Block number 2, his name is Quesarito, throws a block into player number, I believe it's number 11, is this guy over here. Player number 11, his name is Ulan Beth Soaringleaf, matched by a knockout result for him, so he is currently out. And you have to roll up to see at the end of this drive and see if he'll come back. But the biggest one was player number 1, Beef Supreme, the Saurus team captain, throws a block into player number 8, I believe is the name of the player. His name is Torlin Sureeye. Magic get a casualty and puts a serious injury result on him. So because of that, he will miss out the rest of the game, as well as miss his next game because he's also been seriously injured. So that part was insane. Now from there, this little skink player number here, player number 10, his name is Cinnabite. Cinnabite originally was down here because he got knocked by the blitzer. He spends 3 of his movement squares to stand up, moves into a movement square to pick up the ball, manages to successfully do so. Then he runs directly back over here using the rest of his turns, and then he throws it to Doritos Locos. Now originally the pass was bad, but my friend Senior Chain decided to burn one of his rerolls and do so, so the pass was good and lands directly to Doritos Locos. From there, Doritos Locos catches the ball, earning player number 10 an additional star player point. And then from there, he goes for, I think, 1 square over. He goes 7 squares for his maximum allowance. And I believe he goes for it twice, is what he does. Goes directly to the end zone and scores a touchdown for the Lizardmen. So with that being said, we're going to go directly back to my friends. My friends are going to re-rack their players real quick, and we'll come back for the kickoff for start of turn number 3. All right, so now my friends have re-racked. We're back for the kickoff. As you can see, my friend Senior Chain decided to go the same defensive line he did before because it worked so well the first time around. Unfortunately for my friend Fresh Prince Bel-Air, though, he's playing with a bit of a handicap. He's got 2 players who are casualties, 1 who didn't wake up out of knockout. So he's only got the 3 on the line of scrimmage, and he's got his guys on the flanks. Looks like he's going to try to run the ball as well. In the end, the ball finished bouncing over here, and the kickoff event was brilliant coaching, so both of my friends roll off a D6. Neither of my friends actually has an assistant coach, but it didn't matter because Fresh Prince Bel-Air actually run the roll-offs because it got another reroll that he can use until the end of the drive. So that being said, we go directly to the top of turn number 3 for my friend Fresh Prince Bel-Air and the Elfheim Eagles. Alright, so it takes directly to the top of turn number 3 for my friend Fresh Prince Bel-Air, and some dramatic things have occurred on the pitch. So let's go ahead and talk about exactly what happened first. So first of all, this blitzer actually ran a blitzing action directly into this skink, managed to get a pushback result and pushed him out of the way. Now from there, this thrower, this is player number 1. His name is Rhinerail Brightwand. He actually moves up, picks up the ball, moves up his maximum allowance, and then throws the ball directly to catcher number 4. His name is Kasirion Gladshore. Kasirion Gladshore does manage to complete the pass, so because that player number 1 does get a star player point, and then from there he moves along the edge of the edge zone, moving up his maximum allowance directly towards the end zone for the Lizardmen, and that's repositions himself there. Now meanwhile, the top over here, as you can see, my friend Freshman's related to some pretty daring pushes and shoves for the most part, and actually tries to mark a bunch of these players up here so that way they won't be able to go in directly and try to pull blitz action. He tried to do exactly the same thing down here with player number 10, Morinim Swiftham, but unfortunately when he tried to throw the block, he ended with both players down. Also got himself knocked out because armor got penetrated, so he's in the knockout box right now, while this Soros blocker was just pushed over, is all that managed to happen there. So because of that caused immediate turnover, we go directly to the bottom of turn number 3 for the Lizardmen. So we go directly to the bottom of turn number 3 for my friend Senior Chang and his Gwaka'moli Crater Gators, and as you can see, quite a bit of action is taking place over here on the pitch. So first thing that ends up happening, of course, is my friend throws a block directly into this elf. It does a blitz action, moves up directly into him, manages to go into Kasirion Gladshore, managed to get him a power result and knock him down as well, which caused the ball to bounce right over this square, right behind this source player. Now from there, of course, this source player also does a block action well, does a push to this blitzer and moves him down. And then from there, of course, because the line is broken up, a couple of skinks move in through the opening over here, making their way over here. Plus the source warrior that was knocked down over here earlier gets back on his feet. He actually rushes at one square, so that way he's in the tackle zone of this elf player, so that way he has to contend with that source warrior. Meanwhile, over here, Beef Supreme managed to push Beware that way. At the same time, this skink and this source warrior from the wide zone, they move down directly to over here. Looks like they're trying to give a couple of options for Doritos Locos. Doritos Locos managed to pick up the ball, moves up his max and movement allowance. However, he decides not to throw it just because there's nobody really near him that he can do so. But at the same time, though, he does have a skink that he can rely upon that he can hand the ball off to if he needs to, and they can run it that way or throw it, or giving himself lots of different options. And that pretty much makes up turn number 3 for my friend Senior Chang. So with turn 3 over with, we go directly to the top of turn number 4 for my friend Fresh Prince Belair. All right, so we go directly to the top of turn number 4 for my friend Fresh Prince Belair, and this is the action that took place over here on the table. For the most part, he just pretty much kind of maneuvered his guys around, try to push back some Saurus Warriors, open up some openings so that way he can have his guys skirt around directly around Doritos Locos for the most part. Now, he did try to throw a blitz with Masterian Pure Sky, the blitzer. He does throw a blitz directly into him, but he rolls in both players down result or a player down results because he does burn up one of his reroll to reroll it, and he ends up with a stumble or with a push. And since Doritos Locos has the dodge ability, it doesn't really matter. It's going to be a push either way. So because he does get pushed back one space, but that's really about it. So because of that, my friend Fresh Prince Belair then arranges a couple of his players around Doritos Locos in case they manage to tackle him. That way the ball scatters. He's got a couple of players who can grab the ball, then hopefully run it or throw it or pass it directly to the end zone. And that pretty much makes up the play for this one. So with that being said, we go directly to the bottom turn number 4 for my friend Senior Chang. So we go directly to the bottom of turn number 4 for my friend Senior Chang, as well as the Gwaka'moli Crater Gators. And touchdown number 2 is scored on this drive. So just like that, my friend Senior Chang has now achieved 2 touchdowns as opposed to 0 for the Elfheim Eagles. The Elfheim Eagles are having a hell of a time in this game with injuries. So let's go and talk about what's ended up happening. So first of all, this player over here, player number 4, his name, I believe, is Quesadilla. He throws a block directly into another player, player number 4, Kasirion Gladshore, the catcher. Managed to hit him and put a power result on him, managed to break his armor, and as well put a casualty roll on him because he is seriously injured, so because he will miss out the next game as well, as he is currently in recovery. So that's 3 players right now put in the casualty box by the Gwaka'moli Crater Gators. They'll also earn him an additional league point because of that as well. And also earn this guy 2 star player points. However, probably the most dramatic thing, though, took place over here with this blitz by player number 5. His name is Belgrande. He throws a blitz directly into this blitzer, player number 5, Masterian Pure Sky. So that way he gets a power result on him and knocks him over, which then frees up Doritos Locos. Now, Doritos Locos moves up his max move allowance and just handed the ball off to player number 10. His name is Cinnabite, which is the skink. The skink then, of course, moves up his max move allowance and also scores himself a touchdown and earning him 3 star player points. So that being said, we're going directly to the top of turn number 5. We'll come back at my friend's re-rack, and we'll come back after the kickoff result. All right, so now we're back. As you can see, my friends have organized their teams for the kickoff. The ball eventually scattered all the way over here, and the kickoff result was open snap, which means that D3 plus 3 receiving team players can move 1 additional square. So my friend, Fresh Prince Bel-Air, rolled his D3. He managed to get 3 players in total to move over. So he moved over his catcher over here closer to the ball. He moved up one of his catchers over here to closer to the line of scrimmage, and same thing with one of his blitzers over here. I'm sorry, not a catcher, his thrower. One of his throwers moved a square closer there. So because of that, we go directly to the top of turn number 5, and we will be back after my friend Fresh Prince Bel-Air's turn 5 activations. All right, so we go directly to the top of turn number 5, and unfortunately for my friend Fresh Prince Bel-Air, it was pretty much a short round. The first thing he decided to do is send one of his catchers waving through the lines real quick. So his catcher's name is player number 3, Liaster Bright Knife. He actually kind of weaves his way through the line of scrimmage over here after these guys push this Source Warrior back. He did manage to escape the tackle zones, but he rolled a 1 for one of them, so he burned up one of his re-rolls in order to make sure he went through, and he made it all the way through this area directly towards the end zone. From there, he also moves up his catcher, Endicel Tenderheart. He also moves up his maximum allowance roller directly over here. Looks like my friend's going to try to do a series of passes to get the ball through. Unfortunately, his thrower number 1, his name is Rinreal Brightwan. He does move up to try to pick up the ball. Unfortunately, rolls a 1 for his agility test. He can't use another reroll because he used one earlier in the turn because of the ball scatters 1 square over to the 2 o'clock position. And just like that, that pretty much ends his activation. So that being said, we go directly to the bottom of turn number 5 for the Lizardmen. All right, so we go directly to the bottom of turn number 5 for my friends here, Chang, as well as the Gwaka'moli Crater Gators. And as you can see, some more disaster struck for my friend Fresh Prince Bel-Air. As it ended up happening is that player number 2, his name is Quesarito, throws a block directly into the Aster Bright Knife, the catcher. Managed to put a serious injury on him, so because he does go directly to the couch box, he'll miss the rest of this game, as well as his next game as he is recovering from his injuries. Now, the destruction doesn't stop there. From there, because of that, these Source Warriors, as well as these Skinks and Chameleon Skinks, they kind of move up directly to the top of the wide field, heading directly towards the ball to where Rimrow Brightwan is located at, so he's in a bad position. At the same time, the other catcher, Endicel Tenderheart, he's actually surrounded by 2 Skinks, as well as a Chameleon Skink that can actually get to the ball if they decide to throw it. Now, meanwhile, over here, they do manage to push a couple of the linemen around at the bottom here. Same thing with skirting around this blitzer with this Skink, making directly to the end of that ball and being marked by this Source Warrior. But then this player number 4, his name is Quesadilla, he managed to throw a block directly into another player. I forgot what number that is, but it was actually a lineman. Managed to put a badly hurt injury on that player. I believe it was player number 7 is his name. Yeah. Cameranath Tendersong managed to get a bad injury on him, so because he's badly hurt, so he will not be able to participate in the rest of this battle report because he's recovering. So that's 5 members of the Elfheim Eagles who are currently casualties right now, and the Lizardmen are just stacking it up and making it extremely brutal. So that being said, we go directly to the top of turn number 6 for my friend Fresh Prince Bel-Air. All right, so it takes us directly to the top of turn number 6, and unfortunately for my friend Fresh Prince Bel-Air, his turn was extremely short. What ended up happening is that player number 9, his name is Toran Lion Sure-Eye. He's a lineman, tries to throw a block directly into Brief Supreme, the team captain of the Gwaka'moli Crater Gators. Unfortunately, he got a both down result. He didn't want to use up his very last reroll for this first half because I think his plan was to actually run his guys through and try to do break a hole so that we can run through and then make his ball directly to the end. But unfortunately, because it goes crashing down to the ground, he does get stunned as well because it cracks through his armor, so he is currently laying on the ground bleeding out. And at the same time, causing me a changeover for the Gwaka'moli Crater Gators. So with that being said, we come back at the bottom of turn number 6. All right, that takes us directly to the bottom of turn number 6 from our friend Senior Chang, and touchdown number 3 was achieved by Skink player number 11, Soft Taco. So let's talk about exactly what caused this to occur. So first of all, for my friend Senior Chang, he throws a couple of blocks throughout the line of scrimmage, managed to push this blitzer back as well as push a couple of players around over here in the line of scrimmage. However, the most destructive thing that took place though was this player over here. Player number 3, his name is Crunchwrap. Crunchwrap throws a blitz action across the table and smashed directly into player number 1, Rinreal Brightwan, and managed to put a badly hurt result on him as well. Got a power result was what he ended up getting, and at the same time cracked through his armor. So because of that, he will not be participating with the rest of the battle report because he's currently in the casualty box right off the bat. And for those of you guys keeping count, that means 6 elves have been put in the casualty box by these Lizardmen. Now, because that ball was open, Soft Taco, the Skink player, moved in, picked up the ball real quick, no problem, and then ran it all the way directly to the end zone, getting himself a 3rd touchdown for his team. At this point, then, my friend Fresh Prince Bel-Air decides to call the game, and you really can't blame him, to be perfectly honest. He's got 6 players in the casualty box, 4 of which will miss their next game, so he decided he wanted to lose any more players than he already has, and this is just in the first half of the game. We haven't even gotten to the second half yet. So because of that, he decides to concede the game, and also ends a victory for my friend Senior Chang, as well as the Gwaka'moli Crater Gators. For the very first time, there's actually the very first win, so now they're 1-2 now. So kudos to them. So with that being said, we're going to go directly to the After Action Report because this battle report is now officially over.
That's it, man. Game over, man. It's game over.
Alright, now it's time for the After Action Report. This is the part of the battle report we talk about what went well, what went poorly, and what we can learn for the next time that we do battle. This is the After Action Report for Tales from the Tackle Zone Season 2, Battle Report number 14. This was game number 7 in the New World Conference between the Elfheim Eagles as well as the Gwaka'moli Crater Gators. So let's go and start with my friend Fresh Prince Bel-Air's team, the Elfheim Eagles. Unfortunately, he got a lot of injuries in this game. 4 players. Catcher number 3, Eliaster Bright Knife. Catcher number 4, Cassiriam Gladshore. Blitzer number 6, Galadrinon Shadowstar. And lineman number 9, Toran Lian Sure-Eye. Oh, God, these names. All 4 of those players will miss their next game because all 4 were seriously injured and they're currently in recovery. Meanwhile, 2 other players, Thor number 1, Rin Ramil Brightwand, as well as lineman number 7, Cam Renath Tendersong. Those 2 players are actually badly hurt, so because they made a full recovery at the end of the game, so no harm, no foul. Now, for the advances on this one, lineman number 11, Lil Rimbeth Soaring Leaf, got the MVP on this one, so they earned 4 star player points, but my friend Freshman Belair decided not to spend any of his star player points, so no one really technically advanced on this one. Now, for his winnings, he managed to score 40,000 gold pieces on this one, which brings his grand total to 145,000 gold pieces. He has no change in his dedicated fan base, so he didn't lose any fans, so he's still at 3 dedicated fans. And for his recruitment, he hired lineman number 8. His name is Giddithwy Hawkstar, who cost 60,000 gold pieces, and because they took the remaining 85,000 gold pieces and placed into his treasury. I think what my friend Freshman Belair is trying to do is save enough gold so that way he can hire an apothecary for his team because he took so many injuries this time. Now for his inducements, he didn't purchase any inducements, and for his league points, because he conceded the game with 0 touchdowns, he earns 1 additional league point, bringing his grand total to 10 league points in total. His new record now is at 2 wins and 1 loss, and his new team value is at 1,160 points. So with that, let's talk about Senior Chang's team, the Gwaka'moli Crater Gators, his Lizardmen team on this one. He actually suffered no injuries on this one, but at the same time, he also did not advance anybody for it as well. He got a ton of star player points because of the magical casualties he caused in his battle report, but he decided not to spend any of it at this current moment, so because nobody advances. Now for his winnings, he managed to score 70,000 gold pieces, and when combined with the gold pieces he had in his treasury, brings it to 140,000 gold pieces in total. With those 140,000 gold pieces, recruited a new Croc Score player number 8, named Big Gordita, for 140,000 gold pieces on that one. Now for his dedicated fan base, he did increase his dedicated fan base by 1, so now he has 2 total dedicated fans in total. For his league points, he earned 1.4, causing 3 or more casualties in a battle in a game. Also earned another league point for scoring 3 or more touchdowns, and he also earns 3 league points for actually winning his game, giving a grand total of 5 league points in total. His new record now is at 1 win and 2 losses, and his new team value now is at 1,210 points. So that's going to do it for this week, guys. As always, please feel free to like, comment, and or subscribe. Your guys' input is invaluable to us as always. Also check us out on Facebook, Instagram, as well as blogger.com for all the latest greatest hobby news related to this channel. That's good for this week, guys. We'll catch you guys next one. Peace out and stay classy.